Now we move to January 6th, the insurrection that wasn't. A man pled guilty to a felony. This is the first case where they have a felony. And he pled to the felony. We don't know what kind of jail conditions or other things they were doing to threaten him. They agreed to drop a number of misdemeanors. And the prosecution wanted 18 months. And defense counsel said, wait a minute, you should let him go. You know, he didn't assault anybody. He didn't hit anybody. He actually didn't create any property damage either. He was in the Senate chamber. And the judge is an Obama judge, and he winds up giving him 8 months. But we know nothing about the circumstances here. We know nothing about how long he was held, under what conditions he was held, how they were threatening him, because they are threatening him. And the way the media is reporting this is they want to set an example so the other hundreds of people will have to do some kind of jail time. Now, I want you to think about this. There really is no felony statute that applies to this. There really isn't. And so they press their argument, they press their case for a felony in which this is really basically trespass, because they're accusing him of interfering with government business, interfering with the democratic process. You know, if that's true, we'd be rounding up every Democrat in Washington, D.C. and sending them to prison, wouldn't we? But in any event, let's take a listen. Go.
And we have breaking news. In the first felony sentencing from the January 6th attack on the Capitol, Paul Allard Hodgkins of Florida just sentenced to 8 months in prison. Hodgkins was seen inside the Senate chamber with a Trump flag, a rope, and goggles. NBC News correspondent Pete Williams joins us now. Pete, this rider did not assault anyone or destroy property. How do you judge his sentencing?
Well, the prosecution had asked for 18 months in prison. That was basically the sentencing guidelines here. His own lawyer said no prison time, maybe home detention. And Randolph Moss, the federal judge, sentenced him, as you said, to 8 months in prison plus 2 years of supervised release. The judge said, addressing Hodgkins in court, although you were only one member of a larger mob, you actively participated in a larger event that threatened the Capitol and democracy itself. The judge said the damage that was caused that way was beyond a several-hour delay of the vote count. It's a damage that will persist in this country for several decades. Now, Hodgkins...
Yeah, I really detest when these judges give these political speeches at sentencing. Too many of them do it. Just apply the law to the facts and issue your decision and say why. Don't act like you're a commentator on MSNBC. Go ahead.
Addressed the court today, Andrea. He said that he was truly remorseful and regretful because he feared the damage that the incident has caused could hurt the country. But he said, I realize my involvement still did contribute to the greater problem that took place. So he did want to take some responsibility. This is the first, as you say, felony charge. There have been 2 other guilty pleas. They were misdemeanors. So this was, the prosecution said, you know, use this to lay down a marker that would say you can't attack the Capitol, you can't disrupt democracy, there are going to be consequences.
Now, what was just said here is false. Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn and the Weather Underground, of which they were leaders, blew up a lot of buildings and harmed a lot of people. And one of the bombs went off in the Capitol building. And luckily nobody was there. It did enormous damage to that particular area, that room. None of that happened in this case. Now, that was the New Left, Marxists, Herbert Marcuse, the same people that push critical race theory, by the way, as you'll learn in American Marxism. Bill Ayers got off on a technicality. Bill Ayers never served a single day in prison as a result of a trial. He got off on a technicality. So here we have a person that was in the Senate, shouldn't have been in the Senate, trespassed, and he's now going to spend 8 months in prison. So don't give me this crap that we've never seen anything like this happen before. The left is enormously violent. They are attacking courthouses. They tried to attack the White House. They burned the church on Lafayette Park. They pulled down monuments. We know how violent and vicious they are. That did not occur, for the most part, at the Capitol. Anybody who did attack a police officer and so forth should have the book thrown at them. But not a single one of them is being charged with any kind of terrorist-related act. Not a single one of them is being charged with any kind of an insurrection, period. An insurrection is a crime. And yet they're not being charged with it. None of them are being charged with having weapons and using weapons and any of that. So let's be abundantly clear. When they say we've never seen anything like this, that is a lie.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.